Hello fellow old schoolers, and welcome to this tournament match between the deck and robots. A classical matchup, this one, between two very strong decks. Now, I'll later on make some pamphlets for these archetypes in a nutshell. I don't have any deck pictures of the decks here, but I'll include them in those videos. Just for a quick recap here, the deck is a classical tier 1 control archetype of the format, arguably the best control deck and maybe even the best deck in the entire format, if there is no specific sideboard strategies against it. I call this the Anaconda style because it kind of squeezes the opponent into submission here, just slowly choking him out. The playstyle will be to survive the early game and stall for time and deploy a lot of mana. That'll be phase 1. Then get out some sort of draw engine like a Yimday Tomb or Library of Alexandria and protect that single piece. Then it will go into phase 2 of its strategy, which will be just amassing card advantage, drawing more cards than the opponent with that draw engine, and then trading card for card. That means having an answer for any threat, and most importantly, blocking the opponent's attempts at gaining card advantage, so countering Ancestral Recall or draw 7s or stuff like that. Once the opponent's hand has been depleted this way in a 1-to-1 trade, and this will obviously be sped up if the deck casts Mind Twist, well, then we'll go into phase 3. The opponent will be in top deck mode, just drawing and only having one shot each draw to get an answer, and the deck will deploy a threat, any threat really, once it has a few counterspells in hand, and then it will just punch the other guy down with that single threat. Now there'll be two overall paths to this strategy. Either it will play factories or artifact creatures in conjunction with the Abyss, because the Abyss won't destroy its own artifact creatures in factory. It will usually be like a Sushi, a Mythos Factory, or Tetravis. The other route will be using flying creatures with moats. The most common and old archetype of this strategy will be moats in conjunction with Serra Angels for the kill. But in this deck we're going to see here, it's going to use Shivan Dragon instead. And this version of the deck will also employ a lot of Blood Moons. That's why I call it the Moon deck. And I think that's really cool. I mean, I always like when people try to reinvent old archetypes, trying to, push the meta here. Just a completely different approach to the deck here. It'll have a lot more red in it, and Shivan Dragon, and a lot of Blood Moons and moats, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, that's a new take, an approach to this old archetype. It's coming up against robots. This focused robot deck, we sometimes call that GoBots in Denmark. But yeah, it is blue and white as well, with a splash of black for the Abyss, Mind Twist, and Demonic Tutor sometimes. And it kind of wins by mass-producing big threats. And the key to this is Triskelions and Tetravis sometimes. And this deck will be no different. It'll actually have a lot of Travai, I suppose they're called. And also Sushis, but mainly those Triskelions will be the mainstay of the deck. After this deck has deployed a lot of mana, and if it gets a Mythos Workshop, so much the better. It will start to get out those big robots, and then you can use Copy Artifact for 2 mana. Just copy one of those big expensive robots. And the thing is here, the real kicker, is that that'll copy all the counters as well. So you'll have several Triskelions all able to shoot for 3, and several Tetravai with a bunch of 1/1 creatures, just flying armada coming in. This strategy of kind of like overwhelming the other guys' creature removal by copying your own creatures and drawing more and more robots, it is even stronger because you also play with Animate Dead. So if some of the robots are lost in battle or after they've spent all their counters, they can be reanimated and get right back in with full set of counters again. So we'll just recycle and copy these robots and just push and push and push on the opponent's defenses until he breaks. Sometimes it'll use the Abyss and Icy Manipulators to really strengthening that creature dominance here. A nice little take is using Tawnor's Coffin, because you can just put a robot into that coffin and it will, once it gets out, it'll have 3 new counters, and you can actually have like a Triskelion with 9 counters coming out, because each turn it'll gain 3 counters. And you can use the coffin as a fast effect. If the other guy tries to remove your robot, well, you can just pop into that casket and replenish or get even more counters, and then pop back out with those counters on it. So kind of a nice addition here, pretty damn strong. So we'll have an Anaconda trying to squeeze the life out of the robots, and the robots with mass-producing creature strategy, pushing and punching in an accelerating fashion. Let's see who comes out on top. This is round number 1. Now, these fellas started the camera slightly too late here, but we have robots on the left on that star playmat, starting off with the Library of Alexandria. The deck on the right countered with a Tundra and a couple of Moxen. Then the robots drew into 7 cards, drawn with the library, put down an Underground Sea, and now passing the turn to the deck that plays an island here. And we're off to the races. Maze of Ith out of robots, so a bit mana starved. Drawing 2 cards a turn though, the deck really needs to do something about this. Oh, getting out a Mox as well on the robot side. But no mana producing land yet. It does have access to its white removal at this point though. And the deck has 4 mana. So, as mentioned in the deck tech, the deck will try to amass a lot of mana here and then gain control. The robots will try to amass enough mana to start the wave of robots here. The first main thing for the robots deck will be to try to get 4 mana to get out Icy Sensushis. Now we have 4 mana. Nope, drawing with the library again though. The deck has a hard time removing the Library of Alexandria, as it only has a Strip Mine and a Chaos Orb against it. So, Black Lotus here. Yeah, so unless the deck gets an answer here, it's really not a good situation for it, because it needs that card advantage to overwhelm and squeeze the other guy. And right now, Robots has that unanswered library. Okay, tapping everything here, taking a point of damage for the City of Brass Sushi coming out. Black Lotus will make it possible for the robots to counter. No counterspell though, Disenchant from the deck. So phase 1 here, the deck needs all its mana and it will try to survive with its cheap removal spells until it can get a book out. But even with a book, it will only actually be on par with that active Library of Alexandria. The deck really needs to do something about that. A Mind Twist would be nice as well. Now I don't know if the robots has counter magic in his deck. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. He likely has it, right, with 2 Underground Seas. There's a lot of blue there. Okay, going for another spell here. I put down the life points in the graphics here. Oh, Mind Twisting him here. We need a counterspell out of the deck. That's a counterspell. Do we have a counterspell on the counterspell? No. And drawing here. Alright. So, crucial punch in on the deck here. That might have been game if the deck didn't have an answer. Maybe a bit risky just to fling it at an untapped the deck. He could have waited, but I suppose wanted to try his luck. There's a Library of Alexandria out on the side of the deck here. So it has his draw engine. Oh, Animate dead. Okay, so the sushi gets back in. 3-4 sushis at this point. Okay, the deck mana drains that. It does seem like it doesn't have removal in hand. The robot player really gives it a good think here. Might counter? No, it doesn't counter. So the deck gets 2 colorless mana in his next main phase from that mana drain. Oh, another Animate dead. Really insisting on that sushi. Not that big of a threat, but I suppose everything counts. 3-4 creature. And there's now a target for all those copy artifacts. Okay, another draw with the robots here. The deck really needs to get into its own library range here. I think it should just take the punch as much as possible. Oh, okay, another sushi. Now will the deck try to weather the storm? 7 points of damage, keeping cards in hand just to get within library range. Or will he try to defend himself and thus keep out of library range? I don't know what the correct play would be here. Comes in 7 points of damage here. He just takes it on the chin though. Puts the deck down to 10 points of life. Is he within library range there? Ooh, a copy artifact on one of the sushis. Okay, he'll have none of it. Red blasting the copy artifact. Oh, but there's a counter spell on the red blast. Really going for the kill here. Robots are 3 sushis out. Overwhelming power. What can the deck do? We need a balance out of him. Serra Angel coming down here. And a mana drain on the Serra Angel. That's game. Next time it'll be 11 points of damage. Robots takes the first match here. So we saw a Serra Angel main deck already. That's kind of unorthodox out of the deck here. He has a bunch of lightning bolts he's taking out. Knowing that there won't be that many boltable creatures. Disrupting Scepter coming out again. Really, I'd like to see a deck picture of this deck at some point. Regrowth coming out, Counterspell coming out. Let's see. There's also a Fireball. Okay. Taking a bunch of his counter magic out. And and we also see there's a Counterspell upside down on the pile of the Robots deck here. So it's definitely a Counter Robots variant we are seeing here. We also saw a few counter spells in the match once he wanted to go for the attacking or the killing blow here. He backed up that copy artifact with a counter spell. And also mana drained, obviously, the Serra Angel. But yeah, Serra Angel's main deck seems like, as I said in the deck tech, this will be a moat variant of the deck. And that'll... I think he'll take more moats in actually, because it'll block all those that ground army. Okay, starting off here, the deck on the play. Island with a Pearl. And no library this time out of those robots. Just a single Underground Sea. Nothing more. Nice and steady start here. City of Brass. Okay. Oh, and there's a Blood Moon coming down here. Now, mind you, all non-basic lands will be mountains here, so that City of Brass won't do him any damage anymore. But, yeah, and that Maze of Ith will be a mountain as well. Mana Starved robots here. Now, Blood Moons aren't the best pick against robots because there's so many colorless mana requirements. Oh, but he's Mana Starved, really Mana Starved. Just cutting a Triskelion, he might have an Animate dead. That was likely the plan, but he can't play it now because... Oh, it does have an Ancestor Recall here. Red blasting the Ancestor Recall. Now Disenchanting the Mox. Very, very nice play, because that's the only colored mana robots has. Another Blood Moon. Really Blood Moon. Back up here. Tundra coming down, but that's also a Blood Moon. Yeah, it does block the robots from all his additional stuff here. Moat coming down. A lot of enchantments. He does have a Plains and a Pearl. Actually, a lot of basic lanes out of the deck. Really unorthodox here. Oh, that's a Sage of Latnam out of the robots. Pretty damn cool as well. Another mode. Just back up. We need a Tranquility. That would clear out the board. But yeah, Sages of Latnam. He must have put that in. It's nice in the mirror matchup. Oh, and there's a Transmute artifact on the robots as well. Pretty unorthodox. There's the book. Okay. Now this is the final part of phase 1. For the deck, he has his sufficient mana, he has a book he can use, and he has defenses up. The Blood Moon's keeping the robots at bay, can't really play much, can't remove anything without white mana, and the moats will keep ground armies away. And there's even redundancies here with extra moats and extra Blood Moons. There's the Shivan Dragon, a nice altered Shivan Dragon here. I think it's a beta, but someone painted on it, like graffiti or something. I don't know. Okay, 4 mana as the sushi. It won't do anything. The moat will keep it back in its own country, and it can't really jump up and block that Shivan Dragon. So it's just there to be pretty. Okay, Time Walking. Shivan got in. Shivan gets in again. Gets pumped. So 11. That's, I mean, a bunch of damage here. Really just having the robots in a headlock here and flying over that Shivan Dragon. That's a Icy Manipulator though. That can block that Shivan, but Divine Offering on the Icy Manipulator, providing 4 points of life for the deck here. Yeah, this is just a massive beatdown. Robots crumbles under that Blood Moon moat. Shivan Dragon play here out of the deck. Really nice sideboard strategy here. I suppose the robots better get some blue blasts in. Really scrambling for some answers here. It was a bit mana starved as well, but yeah, I don't know. Perhaps taking his sushis out, and if it's Tetravus or Tetravai, should get them in there because they're flying, so they can actually fly over that moat. Sages of Latnam main. I sometimes see that in this matchup, either in the robot mirror matchup or in the robot against the deck matchup, because sages can be used for that artifact removal, and you can tap that sage and get an extra draw, and card advantage in these matchups are all the rage. So just a single Sage of Latnam can really, pay its cost back several times by sacrificing artifacts as a fast effect when someone else tries to remove it. Because after sideboard, both decks will have so much artifact destruction, like Dust to Dust, Divine Offering, Disenchant, stuff like that. So yeah, the Sages will come in handy there. Alright, this is round number 3. Deciding match here. 2 really one-sided matches in a row here, but going different ways. So let's see how this starts out. Oh, alright. Factory mocks into a Chaos Orb. It's pretty damn cool. But, he can't tap it as a fast effect. Strip Mine coming down. Really a slow start from the deck here. What's that? What does he tap? Oh, he attacked with his factory. Okay, and then puts down a City of Brass. See, City of Brass out of the deck here. Really a slow start from him. I think a play here could be to use the Chaos Orb on the City of Brass. No, he attacks with the factory instead. There's a Disenchant on it. Yeah, I think Chaos Orbing that City of Brass would have been better. Fair enough. Factory gets destroyed. Time walking here though. Out of robots. Wonky mana bases on both sides here. Only colorless and Cities of Brass. Oh, there's a red Mox, but that won't be worth much. It's just a colorless mana for the robots. Getting in with the factory one more time in the second time walk round here. Okay, is the City of Brass. What does he do? Activates on the Strip Mine. Oh, yeah, it's to block him from strip mining the factory. Okay, Chaos Orb hit here. Alright, the deck, third turn, single City of Brass. Okay, that's a Tundra though. So taking out that factory was the correct play. Coming in again. Oh, there's Divine Offering. Countering the Divine Offering though. Both players taking a bunch of damage from those Cities of Brass. Planes coming down. Now Robo's really trying to make the kill here with just a factory. Even going so far as protecting it with a counterspell. What's this? Tapping out completely. Oh, Mind Twist. He can't even counter. Yes, he can. He has 2 blue mana. Do we have a counterspell? It's a Mind Twist for 4. Oh my god. Losing all cards but 1. Let's see what he gets. Takes the okay. To keep that card, Disenchant, Red Blast, Sorcerer Plowshares, and a plate. Oh, a bunch of crucial answers here. The deck reeling. 4th mana source coming down though. Blood Moon. That's pretty nice. It makes the factory into a mountain, and the Cities of Brass are mountains. So, yeah. And the Tundra is a mountain as well. Robot's actually completely paralyzed here. Workshop coming down. Oh, yeah, that's enough colorless mana to get it to trap this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. Time walking. Red Mox drawing with the book. Keeping a plane to untap, trying to draw into a Sorcerer Plowshares here before that to Travis splits up. It splits up here. Now, those 1/1 flying creatures will have Summoning Sickness, but the Travis can fly in for 1 point of damage. If it chooses to. Oh, another to Travis. Oh, yeah, flying in for 1. He must have taken them in after sideboard, after seeing all those moats. So we have a flying armada here of drones. Man, we need a balance again out of that deck. You really had him in a chokehold with that Blood Moon. and a book. But now, that's what I said, robots, once they get its mana, it's not that crucial with that Blood Moon, because you can still get all your stuff out, all your threats. Okay, now the second Travis hatches some drones. You can get in for 5 now. It's done in its upkeep here. Flying in for 5. Sushi coming down. You can play that as well, even with the Blood Moon. Yeah, we need a balance here, otherwise that's game. I mean, it's 14 points, and I'm drawing with the book. Man, what a explosive start. Ancestral Recall. He can't play the Ancestral Recall because he drew into that and he tapped out his islands. Too bad, but it wouldn't have mattered. We saw the 3 cards here. He had a Fireball, but even if he drew that with an Ancestral Recall, he would be tapped out with his mana. So, Robot Drones, a drone swarm flying in and obliterating the deck in the 3rd and final round of this tournament match. Nice game, this one. 2-1, won by Robots. I would like to see more of this version of the deck, though. It's pretty damn unorthodox with Blood Moons, Human Dragons, and modes like this, Lightning Bolts and Fireballs. So we'll see what's on the camera. And yeah, Robots is always a very, very cool archetype, I think. So thank you for watching. I will catch you in the next battle.